Do. How awesome is that intro? Seriously.
That
was
was
amazing.
Up, everybody. Oh, man.
That is so amazing.
Jeremy, you did such a good job on that.
You did.
Yes.
So professional.
What did you just say, Jeremy?
I said thanks, guys.
Oh, all I heard was, It's like, oh no, we lost him. He's having a stroke.
Let's see here. Oh, you already shared it. I'm a little bit behind here.
You are, man. Get with the program.
Sorry, guys.
Jeez. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Drawing Show. I'm Brian.
Hey. I'm
Chad. And I'm Alex.
And that is Alex, the voice of doom.
Voice of doom.
The hands of Alex.
And Chad, do you want to tell all the guys and gals what they're in for tonight?
You guys are in for the most amazing experience of your life.
cool.
That's it.
I dig it. I dig it.
So the Drawing Show is just us hanging out with you guys in the chat. Sometimes we get guests on, sometimes we don't, and we're just doodling the doodles while just hanging out, and that's what we do. Chad and I used to do this kind of stuff in public. We would just go and just be present, just harass others with our art, and now this is kind of, since the pandemic happened, this was just an alternative, and we were like, hey, let's make a show out of it. So you're going to be able to see in real time Chad Nuss, his amazing sultry line art. Yeah, that was good. Just close up of the hands.
Sultry.
Oh man, Alex, introduce yourself a little bit, man.
My name's Alex. I do doodles and stuff. Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
Short and sweet.
What are you going to be working on tonight, man?
I'm going to be working on this comic I've been trying to get off the ground for a while now, but thanks to my lovely Huion canvas tablet, it's starting to come together. So I've just been working through a little bit of like a history lesson that comes before the comic, and then the first actual couple pages of the comic. So I'll be bouncing all the way around them just because I have ADD super bad, and yeah, come with me on this journey.
Come with me and you'll be no, that's great, man. Yeah, and Huion, if you are watching, we do accept sponsors. So Chad, what are you drawing? What are you doodling your doodles tonight? Your fancy
Hold on
over there.
Hold on, I'm trying to share this.
We are sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Chad is about 87 years old and doesn't know how technology works.
What am I doing? What are we doing here? Where's the mouse?
Is this the interwebs?
The interwebs?
Is this that thing Al Gore made?
How's this thing work?
Yeah.
Here,
It's funny
Brian.
because right now we have Chad the Gray, but in a few years we'll have Chad the White. That'd be incredible.
That's right.
Chad, when you fight the Balrog, please call me. I would love to see that happen.
This laptop is the Balrog right now.
Oh, that's great. If you didn't have a name for it, now you do.
Dude.
And I'm making fun of Chad because of technical difficulties. You won't be able to see what I'm drawing this go around because my phone just does not want to work with StreamYard this time. So we'll get that figured out next time. You can see what I'm doodling. But I did tell the guys I'm kind of glad because I'm working on a spoilery page for Memoirs of an Angel. That's live right now on Kickstarter, everybody.
Boom!
So head on over to Kickstarter, look up Memoirs of an Angel.
Yeah.
And issue 7 is live, and it'll be live until the 26th of March. We just launched last week, got funded in less than 12 hours. Because
Yeah.
there's Chad's my hype man back there, can't you tell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do that.
All I'm hearing is that you are not prepared for this episode.
That is exactly what I'm
Absolutely.
saying. Just in
No,
a really fancy
here's the
way.
thing. Hold on. Here's the thing. Okay. We talked about doing this show, and in the past, we tried doing like more of a formal thing, and then it got real weird, and so then we just did the like, hey, we're just hanging out and drawing. So I think I went into it kind of like that. But Brian is like a natural, like he's just natural on this. Like seriously, Brian, you do an amazing job on this. So like you just know how to take over. I need like notes and like an outline, which I probably should have made for myself. So and
Well,
then
go ahead.
No, you. I
I was gonna say it's totally fine because, like, I don't know. I mean, I did just get off of another show with Brian K. Morris, so I think it's just he just kind of osmosis into me, and this is what isn't that weird? I don't
like
like how I
that.
don't
I
like
like
it.
that.
I feel like I need a shower.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Please
That was
shower. Yes.
weird. Creeper.
Here's the thing. Here's the other thing too. As we've discussed on the Dastardly Dingoes, I am an empathetic sociopath. So when it comes to anything like social, not only does it like completely drain me, but I also have to have like a crutch or something. Like I never do well like in the lead position. I've learned that through hard experience over many, many years. I always do better as like the assistant or kind of in the background or doing something else. And so that's why I really appreciate what Brian does because that's the good thing about a host is that you can bring out conversation and things from people that don't normally converse a whole lot. And that's what you do for me. And I know you do that for Jeremy and all our guests. So I appreciate you taking the lead on that. So
What a nice
Well-
way to tell everyone I'm a social whore. I love it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, as the producer of this show, if there is a lull, I'll just be burning through my my cards. My flash
Yes.
cards.
Oh yeah,
All right.
you got the dastardly wisdom card. What are they called?
The flash cards.
Speed round cards.
The flashcards. That's all they're called.
So here, I'll answer your question that you asked me while I was trying to figure out the interweb.
Uh-huh.
So I am working on page 22 of issue number 2 of The Silence. 22 of 24, I believe it'll be, of just the drawing. There's an extra like literally like 10 to 15 pages of writing that will be also added. There's going to be a prologue. There's going to be an appendix that will add extra world building elements to the story. So yeah, so this page is particularly difficult for me, and I've really struggled with it for the last couple of days, just trying to figure out where everything's going to go. So I was a little hesitant to do this on live because it really, being live really makes you vulnerable because you're kind of putting out there, hey, this is the crappy part of my drawing when I like erase and redraw, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I did that.
This is the part of the drawing where we don't want anybody else to actually see it. We want
That's
to do
exactly
a
right.
nice, shiny, finished product.
Yes.
This is
So,
true.
Yes, absolutely. So, but yeah. So, anyways, that's what I'm doing here, and so this is, I don't know if you can really see it. I'll just kind of scan through it. This is like, your typical sequential where there's kind of a wider shot here of this character and there's a girl with him, I'm sorry, and then that's her face. And then I don't want to give it too much away, but there's a car here speeding along and there's a character here about to grab the guy's arm, and then on the bottom he's grabbed the guy's arm, and it's kind of an action. It's a really weird pose, so it's been difficult to get, but basically he's being pulled by the car, and so his body is pointed up towards you, and his feet are up in your face. Got some weird feedback going on there.
Uh-oh.
Little loopage.
We're hearing surround sound Chad.
Surround
tonight on the Drawing Show. Ooh.
Ooh, that might be my
Stop it.
Someone stop it.
That might be my fault. That's probably my fault.
Oh, man.
We're having technical
I think I
difficulties,
fixed
ladies and
it.
gentlemen.
I think I fixed it.
All right, cool. Yeah, why don't you just be the voice of doom, Alex?
I can do that.
All right, I like it. And every now and then you can just turn your phone around and give us a cheese or something. You know what I mean? That way we know
Yeah.
you're alive.
I can do that.
There you
Every
go.
once
Look
in
at
a while.
look at the sexy man. Hello, sir.
Oh.
Draw those
Oh, there
draw
he
those
is.
doodles.
I bet you
Doodle
say
those
that to
doodles.
all the girls.
Just you. You're the only girl I say it to.
Oh,
Oh
Oh.
my. Oh man.
Right.
Jeremy, do you have any comments or does everyone hate us?
Russell Allen posted your Kickstarter in the
Oh.
comments.
Well,
So-
thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Russell Allen may or may not be a guest on this show here in a little bit.
Hey.
But we are just going to talk about Kickstarter. for a
So tell
little
us,
bit.
Brian, about your amazing Kickstarter.
Well, like, what do you mean? Like what it's about, or like what it was like to launch one?
Yeah, how has your experience been this time around? Since this
This-
is your fourth time now?
This is our fourth one, yeah.
Okay.
It was honestly like stress-free, which is
Nice.
weird. Like normally you hear, you hear people talk about Kickstarter and how it's like super stressful, and it has been, in the past. But I guess this time, like, we did an event page like we normally do. I was just feeling really good about it. And then, I wasn't nervous about hitting our goal. I never expect to hit the goal within the first day. That's usually pretty rare. But we did, and I was really thankful for it. And yeah, man, like it's been fun this time. Like because this is our fourth one. We've got the hang of launching, and I've been having fun promoting it. I've been doing goofy, silly memes every day. Yeah, I mean, it was still like at the end of the day on Friday, Robin and I were both like super emotionally drained still. Don't get me wrong, but like it wasn't because we were just stressed, out like crazy, like we have been in the past. So I mean, now we're almost a week in, and we are about $160 away. Let me check it. Let me get a refresh. I think we're still about $160 away from our first stretch goal. Yes, we are still there. Which if it remains this way for the rest of the night, this will be our first official 24-hour period where we haven't had a backer, which is actually really good. We've had at least one or two backers consistently for almost a week. And
Awesome.
that's really encouraging. So every Kickstarter hits a dead zone about a week and a half in, and then that middle stage is just where everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, someone kill me," because you refresh, nothing's changed for like 2 weeks, and then the end
Yeah.
is there, and boom,
Hi, Grant.
we've got a Grant Lankard up in this piece.
Hey, guys.
How you doing, buddy?
Hello.
We were actually just talking about Kickstarter. So
Kickstarter.
you are. Tell us a little bit. You're almost how much longer do you have on your Kickstarter till it's done?
I'm almost exactly halfway.
Okay, cool. Cool. We were talking about being halfway, like hitting like a dead zone.
Yeah.
That everybody hits. When did yours kind of like come to a halt as far as just no one backing for a minute or two?
Yesterday it came pretty close to having no backers.
Okay.
I think at like 10:30 at night I finally got one backer.
Oh wow.
One new backer, I mean. But it definitely, like, I knew that it was going to slow down. I didn't know that it was going to like fall off a cliff. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't know. I've been getting like 1 or 2 backers every day.
Yeah.
Which I guess is good because compared to a lot of people.
Oh no, that's actually that's great. Like I said with before you jumped on, I mean, I've this if this, if it continues this trend and hello Christian Basil. He says it smells like ego and beer on this show. Oh, no, he's just jealous he can't grow a luscious beard like Jeremy. You should see us in the same room, folks. It's
the whole room is just filled up with beer.
But no, Grant, I was talking about like if the trend continues the rest of the night, this will be the first official 24-hour period where I haven't gotten at least one backer. And yeah, I mean, we're almost 7 days in. We'll be 7 days in tomorrow. So like that's really great that that you've been able to stay that consistent throughout the whole time. You've been hustling though, man. You've been on, how many shows have you been on?
Pretty much one per day since it started. So
that's awesome.
What is that, about 14, I guess?
Jeez.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I've got like
so
5
have you been
or
like
6. Go ahead.
Have you been like reaching out to people?
I've just
or
been
they reaching out to you.
To be honest with you, I've been emailing random podcasts and YouTube channels. I think somebody, I can't remember if it was Brian. I think Brian contacted me from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I think you saw me on Nevermind the Furthermore.
Oh yeah, well we've been Nevermorians for quite a while together, and I've seen you on there for a long time. Christian Bagel says it means what it means and nothing more. how cryptic, sir. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's yeah. So and then I saw you on Clever Title Pending, talking about Beowulf, and when you, I think you launched. Did you launch live on that show?
I launched live on Russell Allen's show.
Allen's show, okay.
Which, have you guys talked to Russell Allen yet, or?
Well, he's actually going to be joining us here in a few minutes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
in the chat.
Is in the chat, absolutely.
Entered the chat.
Repping all of the books right now on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Russell. And just so you know, Russell Allen and I are doing cross promotion together. If you do his Kickstarter and my Kickstarter, you get a window cling.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it is actually a really cool deal too. The window cling looks awesome. Tell us for our folks out there, dude. Tell us what your book is about.
Okay, so Beowulf is the story of a 13-year-old girl named Hazel who discovers that her cat was the reincarnation of an 8th century wizard. They both have simultaneous visions of a dragon waking after a 1,000-year nap. And it's Mooney, her cat's name is Mooney, and it's Mooney's idea to go after the reincarnation of Beowulf. Unfortunately, he's been reincarnated as a total slacker who'd rather be sitting around drinking beer and watching TV than slaying dragons.
It's awesome.
As you do.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember when you first gave that pitch on Clever Title Pending. I think I giggled more than one probably should, and that alone, the pitch alone, I was like, "Yep, I'm backing it." It was just so funny, and the artwork is great. Now, so you said it before, but are you doing the line art and the colors, or is somebody else? What's going on there?
So I have a guy helping me with the line art.
Okay.
His name is Antonio Brando. He has a long list of Kickstarter projects that he's been a part of. So I'm doing the inks, the colors, and the lettering.
Okay. Cool. Now, is this your first time doing all of that on a comic?
So I've done some anthologies. This is my first This is my first comic book where everything is me,
Mm-hmm.
or at least my story.
Right. That's awesome, man. So where are you currently on your Kickstarter?
So we're 100. I think we're 100 and was it 170% funded? Right now we're at 2,685,
Awesome.
which is good because my minimum was only 1,500.
Yeah. No, that's great, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to get the minimum, but I mean, I don't know about you, but I just set like the minimum is what I need to like break even.
Yeah.
So obviously, I want to make more than just the minimum.
Yeah. No, we that's what we do too. I mean, it's essentially like what the printing cost and shipping and all that stuff, plus rewards, and then a little bit to kind of put back into creating.
Exactly, to fund the
And
next one.
that's the bare bones. So, so anything after the initial goal is just more fuel to the creative fire.
Exactly. Yeah, it would be nice if we could make a little bit of money off of this and not just break even.
Yeah,
And it looks
Yeah,
like we will.
I was gonna say the way you're going, man. I think you, especially if you're just halfway through. So, because there is something with Kickstarter, and Chad, you've experienced this too, right? Like at the end, the beginning and the end are like the crazy times for Kickstarter.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
No,
I
go
wonder
ahead.
if it's
Go ahead.
because like people see something that they like and then they're like, well, I'll wait and see. I want to make sure it gets backed, but I don't want to have to spend money if I don't have to. You think that's why there's like this backload at the end?
I don't really know. A lot of people have tried to figure it out. For me, I think that it's I think a lot of people just wait. I'm saying it on my end too. Like as a supporter, like I've found myself doing this for no real rhyme or reason. Like I'm like, oh cool, yeah, I can't wait to back this, and I won't back it yet. And it makes no sense, especially on Kickstarter, because like the funds don't come out until the campaign's over.
That's the point that I was going to make.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it doesn't make any sense. Because I've talked to a couple people who are like, I'd really like to back your project, but I don't get paid until next week. And it's like, well, it's not going to end for another 2 weeks anyway. So why not just back it now?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people just don't understand how Kickstarter works. I don't mean, like, seriously, like I think that's why every time we do a launch party on Facebook Live, and Robin and I kind of explain Kickstarter to people, because a lot of people don't know that it's a lot of people don't know it's an all or nothing. A lot of some people don't really understand what it is to begin with. And then a lot of people, hi Russ, how you doing, buddy?
You love that wig.
He does. I see it all the time.
What's going on, fellas?
That is gorgeous.
I know. I got some lovely locks, man. This is that COVID hair. Everything's closed down. So
oh man, Russell Allen in the house. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. How you fellas doing tonight?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're talking about Kickstarter just in general. Talking about Dead Zone, talking about why do people wait till the end to back.
Oh man, the Dead Zone's real. Today was the first pledge in 13 days.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm almost 7 days, or I said it earlier. I'm about 7 days in tomorrow, and if we continue to not get anything tonight, this will be the first 24-hour period without a backer. But Grant's over here. He's like, oh well, I've had a backer almost about every single day. I've got, he's over here. He's a millionaire now, so that's whatever.
Well, and you see, a lot of the problem is the Facebook algorithm. So I'm continuously always sharing everybody's stuff and doing shows and sharing the shows out and everything. Yeah. So Facebook tends to try to mute that, and I find ways around it. And then they come back in. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna kind of hide your posts again. So it's all about trying to figure out the Facebook algorithms. Like one of the things is not posting your Kickstarter link in.
Oh, that's a bad move to do that. Yeah. Anymore. Now anymore, it's the sneaky way to do it is to just put the link in the comments and then put like a witty quippy picture up.
Yep.
And that will bypass all the algorithms, and that way Facebook's like, oh, he's just sharing a meme, but we're like, ha 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 ha. No, we're not. We're actually promoting ourselves. Screw you, Facebook.
So I don't know if something I've been doing, and I don't know if this helps or not. I've been alternating which social media thing I do every day. Like I'll only do Facebook like once every like 4 or 5 days, and I'll post on Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, other stuff other days.
Well, it's working. Obviously, you're doing something.
I mean, my goal is just to make it look less spammy.
Yeah. And I think that is the goal too, right? Like I've started having fun with promoting mine this week. Like I've started making memes that are just ridiculous, but it's still getting the message across because I don't want to be a spammer. I want to let people know, hey, this is out here, this is happening. But at the same time, like I don't want to that's also not the only thing I post. I still post goofy, silly stuff too. So
that's an idea.
Yeah. And like for me, like that is a good, like that's a strategy, but it is also like a real, like genuine thing. Like I don't want to just I don't want that to be the only reason. Oh, what did he say? No one is taking my Kickstarter seriously.
When I first read that, I thought it said Christian needs a poo, and I was like,
"You can handle that, Christian. You can poo anytime you want to, sir. Especially right now because you're not on this show. You could be pooing now, and we would never know."
Well, I might suspect something now.
Just please don't send pics. If you do, send them to Russ.
Yeah,
I can picture him doing that. Actually,
Russell would absolutely love your pictures of the poo.
Well, this took a turn.
Yeah,
and I love
it. Escalated quickly. I was going to say one thing when you talked about the, all the activity at the beginning and all the activity at the end. I find myself as a supporter doing the same thing, and I don't know what it is, but a lot of times I'll wait till the very end, and it has nothing to do with because I know how Kickstarter works. I've run a Kickstarter before. But a lot of times it's just kind of like, oh, I see it. Yeah, I'll get to it. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. And then I'll say, oh, one more day. I'm like, oh, I better get on there. It's just like a procrastination. It's the weirdest thing. But I think it's common to a lot of people. They do that.
I think you're onto that. I think that's about the only thing I've really heard people say is just that, oh, I want to and I will. But like I remember last time I had a few, friends who, I'd mention it to them during the campaign. They're like, yes, thank you for reminding me. I need to get on that. And it was like one guy, and he was a great supporter. Like he was absolutely meaning to back the Kickstarter. And it was like 2 hours before it was done.
Yeah.
I was like, hey man, if you're going to do this, you need to do it now.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh crap. Okay. And then it was still like 30 minutes before, and he finally did it. So I was like, all right, whatever. But yeah, no, I think you're onto something there, Chad. I think it is like a procrastination type gig.
Yeah, it's totally a first world thing. Like, you have it literally takes 5 minutes to get on Kickstarter and click a button, but we just in our mind think, oh, I've got to go do this thing. I'll do that later. It's like, seriously, it only takes that. You just get on there and click. That's all you got to do, So
it's too much. You can't handle it.
Well, and the other thing that helps too is with Grant doing shows, every day. I wish I could do that, but this week has been horrible. I'm at 52 hours in at work already, and I don't have an 8 to 5 or a 9 to 5. Mine's 3 a.m. until I get done. So I get up at 3, I start at 4, and then my day ends whenever it ends. And so it's been brutal, I'm like, man, I want to do a show. I'm going to get on and just have a bunch of people on, and we're just going to have a chat show, and people can ask questions. And I get home, and I'm like, I'm dying. I go to bed.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the hard part about those of us who have, a day job, or just a all the time job, like us. Yeah. Shout out to your friend. Russ. What I'm gonna butcher the name.
Even at Revis
even-
Fournier.
Thank you for saving my life.
You're welcome. Thanks.
She said,
Hey,
"Sup,
even
Russ?"
at how are you doing tonight? Or Eve for short. I can't believe I didn't hear the Passat sputtering up, but thanks for coming in. We give her trouble. So Evanette has a Passat, and like there's always something wrong with it. Like one of her tires was out of balance, and we always give her trouble about being a millennial. So I have dubbed the name of her Passat the Millennial Falcon. And
Oh,
so
that's hilarious. That's awesome, man. Oh, let's see. Christian Basil said, "Tonight I am the duty manager. I manage the duty." There it is.
But Evanette's a great artist. She actually did her first comic book piece was for Lily the Demoness Chapter 4. And so the piece that is in Xeno Nanite Titan will be her first published book piece. So
Now,
That's
you
awesome.
mentioned Xeno Nanite Titan. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because you too, sir, have a Kickstarter running right now.
yeah, so Xeno Nanite Titan's been like a 10-year project, labor of love, you know. I started writing it back in 2010 when I was working over the road. I had one night a week. I went to Central Illinois, like up, not all the way up to Chicago, but we would go to like Springfield, Champaign, Urbana, Bloomington. And so I would have to work my way up there, spend the night, and then I would work my way back once a week. And I always wanted to write, and everybody always told me, oh, you know, you can never make a living as a writer. And so when I started doing this, you know, over the road once a week, I was like, man, I'm so bored at the hotel. I wish I could do something because the TV's terrible in a hotel room.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know, my wife asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I said, give me a Chromebook, you know. I can download some games on it and play some games instead of just playing stuff on the Vita. And, you know, I can start writing the book, you know, that I've always wanted to write. So fast forward, you know, 2015, I had like 900 pages deep into the story of, you know, figuring everything out and how I wanted it to be. And at the end of 14, we found out my son was going to have open heart surgery after he was born. We found out the week before Christmas, they found something. And that was like the worst thing ever, too, because we went in for a fetal echo, and the doctor's like, we can't get a good image of him. We need to send you to the main hospital. They've got better equipment. So we sat in this room from like 10 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock at night while doctor after doctor after doctor came in and did a fetal echo. So we didn't find out until they sent us upstairs to another doctor from that doctor that Roderick was going to have open heart surgery at birth. And so when he was born, I was like, you know, I'm going to take this Chromebook with me. It'll be good to take my mind off of things. And, you know, and then you sit in a telephone booth for 12 hours waiting, you know, to get the confirmation that your son made it through the surgery. And, you know, just spending a month in the hospital being mentally exhausted, I just never cracked it open. I took my Vita up there, you know, thinking, oh, I'll play a game and I'll write my book. I didn't touch any of it. It's just like, I don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just ended up being surgery after surgery. And then finally Roderick came home. We had to make the decision, you know, does my wife go to work and we put him in daycare? Are they even going to take the liability of having him? And so I was like, you know what? I'll be better if you stayed at home with him. I'll go work full time and, you know, we'll try to make it work. And, you know, so we made it work for a while. It just really limited my time. And, you know, with all the surgeries and everything, I just kind of gave up on the project. I buried it away. So last year in January, I found out that I had a mass on my spine. So they thought that I had cancer, basically. I had a PET scan. It came back significant evidence of malignancy. They kind of farted around with it in February. They were like, oh, we don't want to do a biopsy because it's up against your spine. It's close to your lung. It's close to your stomach. You know, we don't want it to, if it is cancer, to metastasize into your lung. And we also don't want to puncture your spine and paralyze you.
Normally, that's a good thing
Yeah.
to not do.
Yeah.
You know, I think.
So they're like, oh, we'll monitor the size of it. So I'm like, okay, cool. You know, no problem. And so, you know, the whole time I'm like, yeah, no problem. It's, you know, is it or isn't it? My wife's flipping out. So, you know, it really got to me. So in mid-February, I started Russ Explode Studios. And I dug out the book and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make this happen. If it's the last thing I do, I'm going to finish this book. I ended up, you know, splitting it into a trilogy. I rewrote book one. Started rewriting book one. So March, I went back to work, and as I ran out of FMLA, I ran out of vacation. Yeah. Hey, Trish, thanks for stopping in. And I went back to work, and I was back 3 days, and somebody ran a light on my way home and totaled my car. So I went back into the hospital for that. And then they're like, we're going to concentrate on the car wreck, and then we'll get back to the, the cancer mass. Well, then like literally a week later, they're like, okay, we're shutting everything down because of COVID. And I didn't get back until June. So like I literally never even went in to get final x-rays on my wrist because the airbag, I had burns from here down and it snapped my wrist back to my arm. And I've still not gotten, any more x-rays or any of they were like, well, you need to do physical therapy, but physical therapy's closed. So, we'll email you some exercises to do at home. That
and it's like, wait a minute, if all it takes is emailing me some physical exercises, why do I need to go to physical therapy?
Why do we got to pay for this crap? Yeah, exactly. And so, so I went all the way until June, until they finally opened things back up to where I could get in. They did a CT scan. The mass had gotten smaller, so it's not gone. I'm actually going Monday to have another CT scan, and then the following Monday I'm going back to the specialist. So that's part of the reason why this week's been really rough, because it's it's weighing on my mind with everything. What if it's back and it's bigger and that kind of sort of thing. So the hospital totally missed in March when the car wreck happened. I found out in September I have 11 bulging discs and I have 2 blown discs in my back, which is why I've been having problems walking and having severe pain and fibromyalgia. So
hey, I have that.
It's been absolutely brutal, but I'm like, you know what? I'm pushing through. So all year last year, that's what I did. All the way up until June, all the way through until September. September, I finished the book, and I still really didn't have confirmation. I'm like, we're doing this. So I launched it. I went big. I did the art book. I did the book. I didn't have any money, of course, having 7,000 tests run throughout the year to pad the print run. So I'm like, look. This is for 100 books because I'll be lucky if I get 100 backers. I can't make the print run any bigger, so this is the base price. I'm not making anything off of it. I just want to get the book out there. And we had a good run at it. We did like 67% of the goal for both print runs. And so it was kind of disheartening after everything that happened last year. But I'm like, you know what? I found out what not to do. Let's not do the art book. Let's come back in. And let's shoot the book in there. And this time it's going to be a little easier because, we've been getting the stimulus check. So that's kind of helped us get back on our feet again after the torrent of bad things happening last year. Yeah. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take our tax money. I'll be getting hopefully my work bonus that we get yearly this month. And I'm going to overprint the books and be able to make them cheaper to where people can afford them and get the story out there because I'm excited about it. So the story is about Raziel Stevens. He's a family man. He works for the SCA and he gets called back to work. The SCA comes across this crazy signal. They don't know what it is, but they're scared. So they call him back to work. He's working on his project. And as they are finishing the project, the space station comes under attack, and he's hurtled off into the unknown. So the story basically follows his, origin story of, how he goes from being Raziel Stevens to Xeno Nanite Titan, what happens to him, what makes him the way he is, what makes him tick, and what experiences has he gone through in becoming Xeno Nanite Titan. So the story takes you on, twists and turns like crazy because, like I said, he gets hurled in the unknown, and he's trying to fight and make his way back to his family. Does the Earth even still exist? Who attacked him? Is his family even alive? So it's an awesome book. It's exhilarating. It's a fun, fast-paced ride, and I'm super excited about it.
That sounds cool.
That sounds great, man. Yeah, I'm really excited about reading it. I think the premise is fantastic, and yeah. How much farther or how much longer do you have until it's over?
It's got, as of, I think, a little bit ago, I'm here to have Russ save me. I think as of now, I think there's 13 days left. There's either 13 or 12. I've been underground the last 2 days. Like, literally, I've been underground at the mine. So that's been the other thing. Like, I haven't been able to share out anything. Yeah. I've been, so it's been crazy. But I think 13 days. Don't quote me.
Okay. All right. I will say this, and I don't want you to tell me what it actually is. I don't know what your job is outside of writing, but I imagine that you are a full-time dwarf miner, because every time you say I have to go work in the mines, I'm like, oh, he's gonna go in there and sing
Hi
songs.
ho, hi
Yeah,
ho.
yeah. Well, I was thinking more like Misty Mountains, like you know, like the
Gimli.
like from Lord of the Rings and Gimli. Yeah, like Jeremy. Jeremy is a dwarf. I mean, look at him.
Yeah.
That man carries axes just to the grocery store. You know, just in case he runs into an orc.
It's a open carry, right?
That's right.
I like
As long as you
this
can see
right
it,
here.
There's no problem.
I like being behind the dingo. we haven't come up with a name yet for this guy, have we, guys?
No.
No, we have not. Although I like having Dastardly as the last name. I will
do.
agree with Jeremy on that one.
I like it as well. So,
Kevin.
no, but we wanted to have you guys on just to kind of talk
Wow.
Kickstarter, talk your projects up a little bit, and join us. We're going to be on for probably another 15 minutes or so. Jeremy, you said you had some cool flashcards.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you rather have your voice sound like Elmo or Kermit the Frog? Forever.
Was that
Forever?
for both of us?
Oh, everybody,
yeah.
like across the board, everyone that's on screen.
And it has to be one of those. It has to be one of those two.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go first because I just gonna. I already made my choice, Elmo, because
Okay.
I could not stand to be Kermit the Frog because I would be like, I can't deal with myself anymore. I can't stand when people pause because it's like Kermit the Frog here, and it's like he pauses in between every word, and I can't stand when people do that. And I would just smack the crap out of myself. So I gotta say Elmo. I'll deal with like the real high pitched voice for a while, you know.
And I would, I would say Elmo as well, because how much fun would it be to just say like to hear Elmo say things that Elmo normally doesn't say.
Yeah.
Like that would just be funny. You know, like I feel like if I had Elmo's voice, like it would just be inappropriate Elmo all the time.
It
That
would
would
be
go off.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially when
And-
you yell at your kids. It'd be like you laugh at yourself yelling at your kids. I said no, kids. You put them toys away right now.
Elmo's World. Yeah.
Elmo's World.
I remember this was probably like 20, 25 years ago. I saw Howie Mandel like stand up, and this was around the time where Bobby's World was.
Oh, I remember
huge
Bobby's
show.
World. Yes.
and he was
I
talking
love that
about
show.
the same thing, like with his kids, how it like traumatized them the first, because he would like go and yell at them, but in Bobby's voice,
Oh my gosh.
and they were like, "What?"
That's great.
Talk about giving your kids a complex. Jeez.
Mommy, I just heard Bobby drop the F-bomb.
Yeah.
Brian K. Morris, hello, sir. Welcome to the chat. He said, "What a crew! It's like looking at the wall of my local post office." Oh yes, and
I
they
guess
have
it's
probably have
better-
better credentials than we do. But
I guess it's better than like a bathroom wall.
well, that depends on what bathroom you go to. I don't know, man.
Or a wanted
Like-
sign,
Most like public
like America's
bathrooms.
Most Wanted.
Yeah.
I'm just relieved that Brian found me.
What?
You know,
The
Chad,
whole point
we're
of
trying to,
Hey,
to
listen.
say that you're not a serial killer, and you're really not helping your case, buddy. I'm just saying.
I'm talking about usually at the post office you see the missing people, and so he's looking at. Never mind. I'm not even gonna justify this with an explanation.
Look,
Brian
don't
K. Morris
Chad.
understands.
Don't
Thank you,
upset
Brian.
Chad, guys, because you may end up in a dumpster with him.
Whatever.
See, I was just hoping that he was looking at the crew at the local post office on the wall. That you
Yeah,
know,
that's what I thought he meant
and
too.
because we're gonna send it, we're sending it with all these awesome projects. We're sending it. We don't know where we're sending it because they obviously can't get packages where they need to go, but we're sending it somewhere.
You know, it's funny. I've heard. I mean, obviously that is a thing. I've had friends that legit that has happened. I have not had that any trouble at all with our post office.
All right. Well, I live in Missouri. Okay. I had
Oh,
a
there you go.
package from a Kickstarter that shipped from California, went through Missouri all the way to Brian's lovely state of Indiana, went to Kentucky, then God only knows where it went to. And I finally got it yesterday. And it was supposed to be delivered on Monday. I'm like
That's
following
not
this
that
thing.
bad. That's just what? That's just 2 days late. That's not terrible.
Well, I actually had one go from Boston, Massachusetts to it went to Kansas City and then down to Mississippi and then it went to Puerto Rico and then came back into the
Awesome.
States. It took 4.5 weeks for it to get here.
It just wanted to see the sights, Russell. That's all it was, man.
Hey, do you want to? You got to know this. This is the craziest thing ever. So you know, in my mind, I'm going. This box is destroyed. It's going to be absolutely obliterated. It's went overseas.
Right.
It came back. It's went all over the United States and finally came back here. And it was the best box I've ever received in my entire life. It was perfect.
You know, somewhere there's like pictures of a post office, of a mailman that's just like seeing the sights and he's taking pictures with the box. He's like,
Yeah.
this is my. He's
just,
got it in
walking
like a.
around
He's
like-
got it in like a baby carriage and strapped to his chest,
Yeah.
walking around. Look at the Eiffel Tower, kids. Yeah.
You guys want to hear something crazy? So
I would
my
always love to hear.
my
something.
stepson had to fly to Philadelphia for work. He had a layover in Florida. I live in Pittsburgh.
All right.
How's that
He was
work?
flying from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia with a layover in Florida.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go to Japan, and then we're gonna come, and then we'll go to take you to London.
Hey, Dave.
Hey Dave, dude, Dave is killing it on Indiegogo right now, guys. His comic series Confederate Monster is the Civil War meets Frankenstein. I've been following this his work for quite some time. I'm so excited about it. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should. It's so good. Brian K. Morris says, Russell, the journey of your package is why I never send anything media mail.
Well, and that's the sad thing. It was priority 2-day shipping, and it literally took 4.5 weeks to get here. I contacted the seller and I was like, hey, you might want to, get a refund since it's taken
really.
4.5 weeks. And this was before all this stuff happened. This was back in 19, in October or November of 19. It wasn't even around Christmas or anything like that.
That's crazy.
Okay, for a second I thought you were about to say 1990 something. I was just like, wow, you're holding on to that. That's a grudge right there, man. He's like, I remember 30 years ago when they did this to me, and I still haven't forgotten.
Back in the day, Sean, I had this package in the mid 90s. It took 4.5 weeks to get here.
Yeah. I still haven't gotten it.
Them
I'm waiting.
dadgum sapsuckers took 4.5 weeks to bring my package.
Trish, thank you so much
Yeah.
for your subscription. That is great. Yes, this is our usual shenanigans. We do stuff like this. We also do interview shows, and as well as Chad does a very lovely indie review show called Indie
Thank you.
Review. And he doesn't kill that many people
Yeah.
during the
Couple
show.
each
So
time.
just a couple. It is funny, guys.
Very
'cause
gentle.
if you have, it's so weird. One day I will. One day Chad's just gonna wear someone's face onto the show. I know it's gonna happen. We're just gonna go live, and he's gonna be. And we're, okay, then all right, we got to call the FBI. You know what I mean?
See, he's got to keep it only a few because there's only so many places you can hide a body. I mean, they took away the function to ask Siri where you could hide a body, so now he's screwed.
Oh, I have ways.
Yes, I was about to say he knows. He knows his ways.
Ways.
So, all right, Jeremy, lay on an. Oh wait, no, Chad, we never heard what your voice would be.
Oh, I agree with you guys. I'd go with Elmo for sure. I mean,
Okay.
Kermit is just super annoying. So I would do Elmo, and I would really play it up I mean, you
That's the
can't
most
hide that.
thing that
Yeah.
that Chad has ever displayed was how much he hated Kermit.
Yes. Oh,
Well,
Kermit's
screw you
fine.
guys.
I
I'm
love-
going with Kermit.
I was gonna say, I love Kermit. I just thought it'd be funnier to hear Elmo's voice come out of me.
Yeah.
That would be, yeah. I'll give you points for that.
Yeah. Alex, the voice of Doom. So you
He
would
just
be
wants
Kermit.
to be Kermit so he can say he's doing it piggy style instead of
I'm doing it piggy style. Something like that.
Weird.
Hey.
It just went weird.
Hey, Russ,
Right there.
Trish wants you to tell the story of why you're not visiting Iowa.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah,
So-
I want to know the story.
All right, so I'm from Missouri, as you all know, and we have rest stops here that are glorious. I mean, they're freaking massive, bigger than Sam's Club size buildings with showers and bathrooms, and they got a freaking playground and vending machines. And so we take this trip to Iowa. It was above Des Moines. Oh, what is the name of it? There's a train that runs up there. It's right above Des Moines. And so Roderick was, I want to say 2-ish, and he had another cardiac cath done. Well, they'd give him antibiotics, and he ended up getting C. diff. And we had already planned the trip. We had already bought the tickets to go on the train ride. He was excited about it, and so we decided to go ahead and go. Well, C. diff's nothing to mess around with. So we're driving along. We stop at a rest stop before we leave Missouri and go into Iowa, and we change them. And so we head over on into Iowa. We drive for like freaking 3 hours, and there was nothing. It was like all trees, and like there'd be like a house, and nothing but fields. Well, then finally we see this sign that's like rest area ahead, and I'm like, yes, there's a rest area, sweet, because Roderick's gone through his clothes. There's nowhere for us to pull off, and so we pull in, and it's like this little shack that's probably not been visited by a human in over 40 years. And there's a metal porta potty sitting outside of it that looked like it was from like the World War I or the Civil War, maybe even, because all the panels were rusted out of it and there was corn stalks growing out of this porta potty. And so I'm like, for the love of God, what do you got to do to find a bathroom or anything right here? Now, granted, the worst part of all of this is for 2 hours we had no service, no cell service whatsoever. And we ditched the GPS years ago. We quit carrying one with us because you always have GPS on your phone, and we had the GPS to where we were going.
Yeah.
And I was super scared to deviate from it because it wouldn't route us back to the way we were supposed to go.
Yeah.
Because it had no service. So I'm like, when we left where we went to and we rode the train, I can't think of the name of it. It's one of those nights, and we left there. And we decided to come back through Hannibal instead of the way we came. And it was the same way. Like, we're on
Hannibal,
the highway.
Chad, you love that place, don't you?
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter. So we came back. We went through Hannibal instead of where we went through into Iowa. And it was the same way. And, like, for the love of God, they have a infatuation with Casey's. Like, once you get into, like, rural, like, kind of out of that into the city, there's a Casey's like every 200 feet.
What's Casey's?
Yeah, I don't know what Casey's is.
It's a gas station.
Oh,
Casey's gas
Oh,
station.
Oh,
Or they call it Casey's General Store.
Oh, okay.
Brian Morris says if you have a chipper shredder, you can hide a body in a lot of places. Good to know.
that's the movie Fargo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing is, too, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. I have never seen this in my entire life. They have at the gas stations, at these Casey's General Stores, they offer gasoline without ethanol.
Huh.
There's literally with and without ethanol on the gas pump. And I'm like,
Weird.
well, and the without ethanol was like almost $1 more than with ethanol.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
Anything
who's
special is
buying
gonna be-
this?
Yeah.
They don't even offer it in our state. Why would you even have that as an option?
Yeah. All right. Next question. Would you rather be forced to high five every person you make eye contact with, or strike up conversations with at least 5 strangers per day.
Well,
I
that's
feel like-
easy for me.
I feel like either one of those is fun.
Yeah, that's not that bad of one.
Yeah.
High-fiving people isn't that bad. I think the hardest thing would be trying to come up with excuses to high-five people so you don't look weird.
Yeah.
Or just own it. You know what I mean? Like look weird, like dress funny. Then they expect it. Right? Like dress like a human pickle and walk around. Ah! You know what I mean? Like that. They're gonna be like, oh cool, you're crazy. See you later. I mean, you
So
know,
that would be like your gimmick.
right. Yeah. You just own it. You know what I mean?
You'd be, hey, here comes that guy who's always high-fiving people.
Right. And then it would be like eventually then you'd get a reputation. And then people would be sad if you didn't high five them.
Yeah. Well, see, for me, and I've mentioned this a couple of times on the Dingoes podcast, like I work from home, and my wife doesn't work at home, and we don't have kids, and I've got a little dog, and that's it. And there's some days when Sarah comes home and, you know, she wants to talk about her day and things like that. And I have to kind of like remind her like, hey, this is the first time that I have spoken today.
Right.
I haven't spoken to anybody today. And, you know, it's just, it's very intense when she comes home and I literally have no sound has come out of my mouth for the whole day. So for me, something like that, both of those are just, I don't like
Terrifying.
it. Yeah.
I love that.
Chad.
The I have spoken. It's cracking me up. I actually, as a dad, used that the other day, like out of nowhere. I just told my kid something. I said, I have spoken, and I walked away. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
man,
This is the way.
This is
the way.
This is the way.
How did that work out for you?
They just looked at me. They were like, okay.
They're like weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why are
well,
you
no,
weird, Dad?
they walked off and they went and did what I told them to do. I think they were kind of scared. They're like, Dad never said that before.
See, next time just high five them with a crazy eye, and then they'll do it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Oh, Dad, something's wrong. I don't know."
High five.
Yeah, come on, go do the dishes. All right,
All right.
Okay, just don't hurt me. Chad, that's how Chad does it.
Only Chad uses a machete to high five.
Exactly.
people.
That's right.
Right in the forehead.
That's right.
They like, I can just picture this in like cartoon fashion, like somebody like reaching up for the high five, and you just hear shing, and then
Just cut off their hands.
I just gave you the 5-finger disc.
I feel like we need to make a like 80s B horror movie about Chad. And just like it just be him like it just all of a sudden one day he snaps and you do like all the 1980s gore fest horror movies like tropes, but it's just Chad in normal people clothes.
yeah.
How about Robo Chad? And Chad ends up getting in a horrific accident, and we'd have to rebuild him.
Like
I
it.
think that's already happened, didn't it? Chad, aren't you a robot?
Yeah.
I just think I would live in a cabin and I would sit in the corner drawing. And then every once in a while I would want to be social and I'd go out and I'd meet 5 people and talk to them and give them high fives and then cut their head off. So that's how that would work.
But wait,
meet
you
your-
would
sounds
have
like
a
the most
boring
conversation with all
RoboCop
5
movie
of them.
ever.
Hey, we've already got one fan of our show. Man, Gaming Fest said she'd watch that for $1.
There you go.
There you go. See?
By the way, I see what you did there. I'd watch that for $1.
Yeah, see, I imagine Chad talking to those 5 people first and telling them about how he draws dead people. Then
Yes.
he high fives them
There
and
you
cuts
go.
their head off.
Yes. I like
And
that.
guess what? I'm drawing you next. Yeah.
You're the next victim for my sketchbook.
That's it. That's the thing. It's like instead of like the Necronomicon, it's Chad's sketchbook.
It's
Ooh.
the yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, there you go. See, this is listen up, Hollywood. We know what we're talking about here.
We know what we're talking about.
That's just like his like serial killer MO is like he kills them and then he just sits down and sketches their
I draw their remains.
Oh gosh. One day I'm gonna actually do this. There's a comic book there's a comic book superhero that I've created called the Bolt, and it's well, I didn't create it, my friends did, but we all got together and created just an amazing rogues gallery, and the best one that we've ever come up with is is Chick Villain. And it's a disgruntled Chick-fil-A employee who goes around and kills people with spatulas and says "my pleasure" after they're dead. And I feel like that is just beautiful. That is a wonderful concept for a villain.
And I just want to touch on what Brian said. Hollywood, if you are watching, and since we do know what we're talking about, we're cool with all being in the same room, except for with Chad. Put him in a different room.
I'll just stay in my cabin in the corner.
Exactly. Yeah, I volunteer as tribute. I'll be in there with Chad. I feel like I'm the Chad whisperer in the group. There we go.
You'll be the first name in his death note or his death note.
I just can't do it anymore. Kill him.
He talks all the time.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah,
We're going to get the rest of the memoirs of an angel story from an actual angel from Brian.
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy, let's do one more flashcard before we wrap things up here.
Okay. Let me find a good one. Yeah, I know. Let's see. Oh, okay. Would you rather wear a monitor that beeps when you're lying or beeps when you're attracted to somebody?
I would rather
What was the second one?
I would rather it beeps when I'm lying, because I only lie when like I'm trying to I only lie when I'm trying to make someone feel better, and you're like, oh yeah, that looks great. And then at that point, if it beeps, they just know I'm trying to be nice.
Like when you tell me that my videos are good.
I was gonna say.
Beep, 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 beep. They're great.
Heck on
I'm
it,
just
Brian.
See, I just
So, no,
feel that
that's
would
my
be
answer.
weird for Chad if he beeped when he was attracted to somebody, because they'd be like, why is this guy beeping before he murders them?
Oh, we just went a whole new level with this.
Yeah.
This is great. You got some Buffalo Bill stuff happening now, Chad.
I only murder the ones that beep.
All right. Interesting.
Jeremy's like, I'm terrified.
I'm terrified. Buddy.
I don't know how to respond to that.
People are going to think Chad's the Unabomber as he's walking through beeping.
Oh, man.
I feel like I would do the beep if I lied, because I don't really ever lie about anything, like hardly ever, except for to my kids, Like I told them one time that because I didn't want to take them to the park, that the park burned down, so they had to rebuild it, And
That is such an epic dad moment, dude.
Well-
Oh my
No, it's gone.
God. It burned down, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
it burned down.
your
They-
favorite
don't
monkey
worry,
bar's
it'll be
gone.
rebuilt by next week.
They could really work for you too, because you can just hold an empty beeper on your belt, and then anytime you lied, you just be like, "See, that's the cops calling right now."
Oh,
They need
there you go.
Yeah.
see?
me. And then you can go have a beer while your kids stay home.
Okay.
I was
And the other
thinking about
funny-
that too. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. The other funny
I was
thing
just-
was the other time that I lied to my kids about the park. So Roderick had just
The
had-
other time I lied to my
Yeah, well,
kids.
there was only one other time, and this is the funny one, because it actually has continued on. And Roderick had a cardiac cath, and so he couldn't play. And Adriana wanted to play at the park, and we had to drive through by one of the playgrounds. And Adriana was like, "Daddy, I want to go play at the park." I'm like, and Roderick got all excited. He's like, "Yeah, I want to too." And he's got a hole in his leg, as big around as this pencil. And I'm like,
yeah.
no, we can't go play. I was like, there's squirrel poop all over it. They have it condemned. It's under biohazard. So now every time we drive by that freaking park, Adrian will go, "Them darn squirrels pooping all over the playground." It's like a year later.
She's telling her friends, "Don't go to the playground, guys. There's radioactive squirrel
Right.
poop. Don't do it."
Oh, that's great.
So, all right, Chad, what's your answer?
Yeah, I think I would go with beep when I lie.
Yeah.
I
It's
think we
either-
all would.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
pretty
like the
honest
other one
people.
would just get you in trouble too much.
That's what I was gonna say. It's easier to ask for forgiveness for a lie than explain to your wife why you think someone's hot or something. You know,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And like even if like they're not mad at you because they like understand, it's still awkward.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like
'Cause
that's
that
I feel like
beeping's not gonna go away.
right, exactly. It's like, oh no, this is weird.
There she is
Some people
again.
might be insulted that you walk by them and you don't start beeping. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Oh.
exactly. See, I feel like I just
Okay.
there's way too many problems with the beeping with the attraction.
Yeah, I agree.
Alex, what do you think?
That's a tough one.
I think that could work in your favor though, Alex, because for someone that's single, that might actually help.
Yeah, but like I don't want to get like pulled into something, like I don't know, like they start having a name for it, it's like all these guys these days, I can't walk anywhere without them beeping at me.
I guess that's
I
true.
feel like I'd fall into like I don't want to be part of it. Yeah, I'll take beeping when I lie, and I'll just keep a fake pager on my belt. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
There you go.
See, the only reason Chad chose beep when he lied because he thought it'd be kind of awkward if he beeped after he killed somebody if he was attracted to it.
true.
I love dead bodies.
On that note, guys, I think it's time we go ahead and close this out. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for jumping in the chat. And we had a blast. We're going to be doing this once a month. So definitely be on the lookout. And go really quick. Jeremy, if you want to give these guys the full screen, Grant, go ahead and lead us off. Tell everybody where they can find your Kickstarter.
You should be able to just type in.
Hold on.
All right. There you go.
There we go.
Okay, so do you want me to put it in the chat or?
Yeah.
It should.
if you
It's
can
just
put it-
Beowulf. Here, I'll put it in the chat. If you just look up Beowulf in the comic book section of the here, let me look it up. Sorry, I'll get the address. Okay, I'm putting it in the chat now. If you just look up, Beowulf on Kickstarter, it should come up. You can also go to monarchpublishing.net. You can sign up for my newsletter, and you'll get a free sample of Beowulf for signing up for my newsletter.
Okay.
Did you want the elevator
Alright.
pitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and do that, and then we'll go over the rest.
Okay. So Beowulf is about a 13-year-old girl named Hazel finds out that her cat, Mooney, is the reincarnation of an 8th century wizard. They both have simultaneous visions of a dragon waking after a 1,000-year nap. It's Mooney's idea to go track down the reincarnation of Beowulf, who unfortunately hasn't slayed a dragon in over 1,200 years, and he prefers drinking and watching TV to slaying dragons now.
Okay.
Excellent.
And I got slightly distracted by Russ's hair.
It's back.
Yeah.
Instafro.
All
I
right.
want to make
Russ.
millions on this. Instafro. Are you bald like Brian K. Morris? Then buy Instafro. You can have instant lovely hair like mine. No. Anyway, so it's all good fun. So, guys,
Where would he
I'm
fit the
Russell Allen.
fez?
What's that? Oh, I already finished mine. Get out of here, Grant. So
If Brian
As you
put
guys-
on that wig, where would he get the fez?
I don't know. He can put it on top, I don't know. We don't want to ask that question. There's Lord only knows where he's going to put that fez. So, guys, you can find me at Russ Explode Studios right here on the banner. That's RUSSXPLODE Studios. I do creator interviews, podcasts. I've had on all kinds of stuff. I had authors, 3D printers. I've had comic book creators, artists. I even had a cooking show one time, and that was a blast, by the way. So, anyway, check out Xenonite Titan, which is live on Kickstarter with this handsome fella right here, Raziel Stevens. He's a family man who goes off to work, and the accident happens. He's sent off into the unknown. He finds himself on an unknown world and is trying to find his way back home. Is his family still alive? Does the Earth still even exist? You can find out in Xeno Nanite Titan, live on Kickstarter.
Sweet. Awesome.
Awesome.
Nice.
Cool. All right, Jeremy.
Yep.
You want to roll us out with the beautiful bean footage, sir, of your wonderful concoction?
Good. Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks.
Well, end.